Welcome back everyone, this is Arafellin playing Dungeon Breaker, and the last two sessions we ended in front of this door, so it's about time we finally find out what's behind it. But first, a random encounter. Okay, let's try that again. Here we go, he has the slate we got from Celsia. Have this creaking noise, and the door has opened. It seems like there might be something important in here, so let's proceed carefully. There's a hallway that continues to another door, and it opens up into a rather large place. There's something in the back that looks like some kind of a altar. But then this thing appears. As they headed towards the altar, large human hand-like thing crawled out of an opening in the floor. Tells Tina to get back. Gives a little squeak. Here it comes. And here we have a boss fight with the Hand Walker. Now, one thing I did not mention specifically in the previous videos when it came up is that when they hit, I think it was level 5. Excuse me. Alec and Tina both learned a special skill. It's what's called a break force. They have their own names. Carl also learned one. So Alec and Tina and all the monster girls learn eventually what they're called break force skills. They're similar to overdrives from Final Fantasy, where there's this extra meter that appears. When that fills up, they're able to use it, which depletes the meter, and then it needs to charge up again. As I mentioned, all the girl monsters get one. The boy monsters do not, but in exchange, when theirs would charge, they pass it on to Alec instead. It's an attack down, let's do that. And she just has healing and status recovery, so... As you might expect, being a boss, this is kind of strong. Has a multi-target earthquake attack. Let's use those break forces. You get something called Ultimate Burst. Supposedly it combines the spiritual power of himself and his allied monsters to smack the enemy around, basically. She has one of those kanji martial arts type things that I don't know how to read it really. I think it's something about a flash and a vacuum and anyway. She can raise her defense. She should probably heal herself preemptively, not being terribly sturdy. Senku Dosho? Okay, Sen is basically a flash of light. Ku is like a vacuum, or sky. Go is sturdy, pretty much, and Sho is the palm of the hand. So it's like a sturdy vacuum flash palm. It's his ultimate burst. Yeah, excuse me. There's his ultimate burst. Similar damage. Blizzard Armor raised her defense 10. There's that Quake spell again. Quake. So yeah, that's an earthquake attack. And I can keep attacking for now. Hero, of course, is better off healing, because that's what heroes do best. At this point, I should probably have him healing also. All those earthquakes add up. Okay, that's a knockdown thing that will prevent him from doing an action. On his next turn, he'll spend getting up instead of doing an attack. Yeah, he just got up. And she got knocked down. Let's go back on offense with him. Here it can heal Tina. So anyway, to recap the plot so far, Alec and Tina have come to the capital to meet with Tina's big sister Karen because she knows about monster taming stuff. which Alec is trying to learn more about and get better at. Here he was paralyzed. I think that's like in Pokemon, where sometimes it keeps you from acting. Let's see. Yeah, she has an anti-paralyzed spell. Okay, we beat it. Bunch of gold, decent amount of experience. And another jewel for Valtiana, so we can summon another monster for a 5th party member. Tina's saying thought he was going to die. But anyway, upon reaching the capital and meeting with Karen, they also met Celsia, the princess who is Karen's benefactor. And Celsia basically told them they can go training in the dungeon that they're investigating. There's this dungeon that was discovered about a month ago in an earthquake that had the royal family's seal on the entrance, so they're thinking there's probably something important here. Okay, Alex surmises that this thing was guarding the altar, and kind of feels sorry for it. Takes a look at the altar, and finds, I believe that's the older kanji for Aoi. Yeah, that's the older kanji for blue or green. It's some kind of sealing stone. She thinks this looks kind of important. Should we report to Celsia? And then these two appear. We encountered them in the cave outside the village, where they were using monsters to attack passing merchants and steal their stuff, because Gale, who is him, used to be... Well, their family used to be barons, and Gale is really annoyed about not being barons anymore, and he's plotting to get enough money to buy his way back into the nobility, basically. They were sent there by Duke Bastarch, who is the guy we ran into in the capital, who does not like Celsia at all, and seems generally unpleasant. He's plotting something, we're not really sure what. He's also looking for something called a divine beast that seems kind of important. And when he finds out that Celsia now has Alec working for her as another monster tamer, he suspects that she might be onto him. So, something's going on here. So anyway, this is Gale. This is his little sister Sorsha, who is more sensible, but also too timid to do anything about him. Yeah, he's showing up. He's demanding that we hand that over. She's kind of timidly saying the same thing. It's like, you guys. Those are the suspicious people we saw in the Kana Village cave. It's like, suspicious is kind of... Wait, who are you people? They're investigating this ruins on Princess Celsia's orders? I found out about these ruins to help with my training, Alex says. Gale says, who would believe such a stupid lie? Yeah, if you're here for training, then hand over that treasure that the monster I've never seen before was guarding. Of course, he's not going to want to do that. Yeah, Tina says, you must be kidding, this is something important that we found. Gale's like, don't care. And about a dozen soldiers, armor and all that, come in. Alec gets in front of Tina to guard her. Gale's standing kind of goading, it's like, so what now? Do you think you can fight us with as beat up as you are? Soldiers are closing in. Alec tries to keep his distance. Gale's still goading. It's like, don't decide quickly. We're going to be bringing back your bodies. And Sorsha says, again, kind of timidly, you really should give it over, he's serious. Alec still can't answer. Gale's there grinning. Raises his hand as though to order them to charge. when suddenly, a young woman appears. She has long black hair down to her ankles, a white dress. Not sure what that word is. Yeah, I should have figured. She's so pure or whatever that she seems out of place. And of course, that gets everyone's attention. Alec tells her to run right. These are bad guys. She stands there as though unable to understand what's going on. Saying if we're going to kill them, we can't leave any witnesses, orders them to capture her. The two of the soldiers go towards her. But as they're about to grab her arms, they suddenly collapse as though they'd ran out of fuel. He's stunned. The girl disappears. Suddenly she's standing next to another soldier. She timidly tells them to attack, but with every flutter of her dress, another soldier collapses soundlessly. She suggests running away. It's like, don't be ridiculous, we have 15 soldiers with us. Alec tells them it's only you left. He can't believe it, but it is indeed true. And you have this girl just standing there calmly in the middle of the collapsed soldiers. She's not even breathing hard, and she's looking at him. He is telling him, now it's your turn. Or our turn, rather. And at that, Gale decides it is time to run away. Alec doesn't want to let him escape, but as usual, they're good at getting out of there. Also, she's getting in Alec's way. Of course, Tina's telling him to run away now. Yeah, he's still worried about Gale and Celsia getting away, but it's too late, they're already gone. It's like, oh well. Guess we'll give up for now, report to Karen and Celsia. And he turns to her, says, I still haven't thanked you yet. Thanks for helping us out, and you are... Still not saying a word, still not reacting. She seems to be sniffing him. Gets closer. He's a little discomfited, and suddenly, her lips are on his. Yeah, that took him by surprise. Tina's yelling at him, what is he doing? It's like, hey, I didn't do it. She suddenly... Wait, where'd she go? And now there's no sign of her. Yeah. Tina's telling him, even if she is an incredibly beautiful young woman, there are things you should and shouldn't do. Yes, she's decided she basically needs to teach him a lesson so he doesn't do anything criminal. He's telling her, stop, don't put your fist up. And suddenly, we're back at the mansion. Here's Celsia. We've apparently reported to her. She's saying, you did well. Yes, some weird people appeared, and Tina tried to beat me up. Yeah. It's like, this is your fault for going all lovey-dovey over some girl you just met. Hey, knock it off. And the soldiers, he presumes, are working for Bastarch. She's heard that he recently got her approval to explore the ruins like her. Oh yeah, after Alec's report, people went and checked in the ruins, but there was no signs of the soldiers that had collapsed. It's like, they weren't eaten by monsters, were they? Yep, there weren't even any remains. The Duke must have collected them to hide the evidence.
じゃが、カーナ村でも何かを探していたというのは気になるの。
But it does bother her that they were looking for something in Kana.
アレク君、その
Karen asks to see the thing they found on the altar. She seems to have some idea what it is. But when asked, she's saying, I must have misunderstood it. Celsia says Alec can hold on to the stone. It might be needed inside the ruins. She tells them they did well. Rest up and keep going tomorrow. Karen is saying, Alec and Tina are going to have to return to the village pretty soon. Let me continue the investigation instead. Celsia asks Alec. He's like, what? I can't go back to the village. I want to help Karen out. I'm going to keep doing this. And Tina? Well, if Alec is still going to be here, I'm going to stay here. And as my little sister, I have to help out my big sister. Well, Celsia is reassured. Karen doesn't seem to like that. But why? That night, there's a knock on Alec's door. He wonders who it is, because Tina would just barge in without knocking. And here's Karen. Asks if he has a minute. He's like, of course. She apologizes for coming in this time. He's like, what are you saying? I'd welcome you anytime. How are your monsters doing? Have you been able to get any skills? It's like, oh, yeah, kind of. That's good. I think you're going to be able to get along even better with your monsters. I guess. She believes in him. Like, I don't really understand what you mean by getting along with my monsters. I mean, they're similar to human and cute, but feels like there are a lot of differences. Sometimes I have no idea what they're thinking. Like, well, yes, but that's the same for humans too. So, what if I were a monster? Can you tell what I'm thinking? Can you like me? Well, for you, it doesn't matter if you're a monster or a bird or a fish or whatever, I still like you. It's like, well, that makes me glad that you'd say that. I can imagine monsters and humans getting married in the future, maybe. Getting Pokemon vibes from this. Of course, I'm getting Pokemon vibes from the whole game. It's like, marriage? I'd be thrilled to marry you. Like, I didn't mean it like that, and that's when he whips out Codenames, a game of spies and secret messages and trying to guess what your partner is trying to communicate. And in any case, he had a wonderful time. And apparently she's pleased too. She wishes this could go on forever. Well, he has no problem with that if she's okay with it. It's like you've grown from a boy into a fine man in no time at all, but... She puts her hand on his head. He tells her to stop treating him like a child. And suddenly he feels very sleepy, dozes off. You're going to lose all memory that I came here. She kisses him on the forehead. And she's wondering to herself how many times she's changed his memories now. And says she's sorry. takes the blue sealing stone out of his things.
古代ウィザール人。どうしてあなたたちは呪われた技術を生み出したの？
So thinking out loud, she's talking about the ancient wizard people. Try to figure out how to Englishize that. But she's wondering why they left behind these cursed skills, basically. Why did they create them? And she tidies up a little and slips out of the room. So there's something going on here. Karen apparently has the ability to manipulate people's memories, and she has apparently done that to him a number of times before. But why? Also, after professing not to know what it was and not being particularly interested in it, she snuck into his room to take that stone we found in the ruins. Again, why? We'll find out that eventually, but not for a while. For now, this has been Arafellin playing Dungeon Breaker. Next time we will continue with the story, so hope to see you then.